What's up, sad boys? Welcome. It's Joker Day, and I thought I'd just do a little jokey makeup. Get this fucking thing out of here. Great content. So I'm trying to go in utterly blind. Trailers ruin so many experiences. I've also stayed away from a lot of the discussion online because I feel like it's important to go in with relatively no expectations. The film community has a tendency to create a story before the film's even out. I thought it would just be beneficial for myself to be completely impartial and just not read any of the discussion. That being said, this is absolutely my most anticipated film of the year. To us Batman fans, the Joker is just such an essential part of it. He's actually more interesting than Batman. I find you never really know what his true motivations are because he doesn't operate off of any sort of real logic. It actually gave me a lot of hope. Todd Phillips was directing this because he is first and foremost a comedy director. And if there's one thing that I think has been missing from the live action iterations of the Joker, it's that comedy aspect. You know, he's just a trickster. He likes to play games. I love his look. His look tells me that it's going to be a lot more lighthearted. I think Christopher Nolan just went way too serious, ironically. Heyo, why so serious? Have fun with them. Like, first and foremost, movies are to entertain. And in my opinion, Joaquin Phoenix is just like, that much better of an actor. Maybe I should open a window. Let's just do this. But I think I look kind of good. In my movie quality, no, but I'm ready for the film. After the intro song hits, I'm gonna come back, then we're gonna discuss about my thoughts. So, I'll see you then. Todd thoughts, Todd thoughts, Todd thoughts. I look like a melted cake. This is gonna make all my points seem very valid. I've been apprehensive about this film from the start. Todd Phillips is not what you would call a great director, a visionary director, but Joaquin Phoenix is a true talent. I was hoping maybe if the film wasn't good, there'd at least be a great portrayal of this infamous character. Joaquin Phoenix did deliver on an incredible performance. He seemed to fully have realized and lived in the head of this guy. What part of that was Todd Phillips getting the performance out of it, and what part of it was Joaquin Phoenix just losing himself in the role? This film isn't bad. It's well crafted and it's better planned and thought out than 90% of the films that are released in theaters. So to that I say, great. I hope that the standards sort of rise just in presentation. It is presented beautifully in full screen. The color palette and the grain and everything does a wonderful job of putting you in the mood of when the film is supposed to take place. My hope that this is an introduction film to a lot of people who have only really grown up with the Marvel films or have only really grown up in this modern era of superhero films. And maybe, just maybe, this will be a gateway for those people to discover the power of what filmmakers can do and not just a product produced by a studio. If you like the tone and feel of it, you'll probably like Taxi Driver because that's a lot of what the movie is kind of blueprinting its entire identity on. If you're gonna steal from the best, absolutely. If you like the tone of this film, then maybe seek out Drive, Nightcrawler. These are kind of more accessible depictions into the dark, seedy, dramatic side of what film can do. Joaquin Phoenix and You Were Never Really Here. Beautiful performance. I was kind of hoping he would still be that bulky in the Joker, but he slimmed the hell down. With all the controversy of if it's too violent, film is rated R. It has been deemed for adults and mature. I know that's a subjective term. Mature audiences. Hopefully people are developed enough to take the concepts that the film is proposing and to intellectualize it and not take it as Bible on how to become famous. As we've seen, history shows that, well, American History X has been found as a shining example of white supremacy. Fight Club, a shining example of masculinity. Pulp Fiction, Scarface. I guess these films do have a tendency to be taken the wrong way. In terms of just visceral violence and gore, it wasn't that bad. With all the discord about like, oh, this is the most violent film that could ever be. Like, this film is shocking. It's real. It's raw. Like I said, if this is your first introduction as more adult-oriented dramatic films, sure, it could be shocking. It could be very violent. I think other films have taken darker looks into this human portrayal depravity. Maniac, Henry, Portrait of a Serial Killer, The Boy. These types of films are doing the same thing that the Joker's doing, but with purpose. I think that's my biggest complaint, is that the Joker feels like purposeless. We have a very distinct tone and a very distinct style. What are we saying? Things. It postulates a lot, but I don't know if it's actually saying a lot. There's subtlety in there, right? Like the big rats. You see these giant fucking rats just out the corner of your eye, in the background, whatever. And I think that's supposed to symbolize like a huge problem, legitimately there, and we all see it, but we're ignoring it. But when it comes to Arthur himself, I don't know if the film really has all that much to say. And Joaquin Phoenix's character is really the only one that has any sort of character growth at all. Zazie Beetz is a non-existing character, figuratively and literally. Describe this character besides cute woman with kid. Like Robert De Niro, he's in it very little. If they're trying to use the King of Comedy as a very heavy influence, Jerry Lewis is in a big part of that film, and a lot of that film is the back and forth discussions between Robert De Niro's character and Jerry Lewis. Also, not enough Marc Maron. If you're gonna get Marc Maron, have Marc Maron do some Marc Maron things. I think he only said like 3 words. What? Give him something to do. I'm glad that Hollywood studio films are now able to craft these big budgeted IP driven films with personality. This film is crafted in such a way, it's not film 5 out of a series, though if Warner Brothers has it their way, probably will be. It is uniquely the Joker film. And I really, really hope that the film that is made is the film that best represents the character. My problem with Marvel is that every film is a Marvel film, but with flavors of this and that. The Joker is a dramatic film with the flavor of the Batman universe thrown into it. It doesn't work, not all the time. I hope this helps push for more identities behind these films. Joker 2019, do we slam it or jam it? I'm gonna go with a very middle slam jam. I think there's some really good stuff in it, but overall it was actually kind of boring. I didn't care about the characters. The movie didn't care about developing the characters besides Arthur. When it's all said and done, when it's all wrapped up, there's a lot of things that aren't there, like a hollow experience. If this didn't have the Joker in it, then it would just be another who cares indie that comes and goes, and no one ever talks about it, and maybe you mention it or recommend it once every blue moon. But no, since it's the Joker, since it's DC, the internet's gonna yell about it forever and ever until the world eventually blows up. So these are my honest thoughts. I'm sure I have more to say. I'm glad I did this to myself. Hit the subscribe button if you want to join the Sad Boy Armada and be like me. Though I don't know why you would want to be. If it fancies you, please give it a little clicky click. Thank you for watching this. I look forward to our next meeting.